This segment of DeMarva Life is brought to you by Gateway Subaru.
Well, have you ever thought to yourself, my cat must be from hell? He rules the roost and thinks he's king of the jungle.
Well, you're not alone. There are many people searching for answers when it comes to their ferocious felines. And that's where this guy comes in. Cat behaviorist Jackson Galaxy, host of Animal Planet's My Cat from Hell. He gives homeowners tips on how to create a cat-friendly home that's not ruled by your furry friend. Jackson says it all boils down to compromise and boosting your cat's confidence.
You want to challenge them. You want them to be the best version of themselves, the most confident version that you can make. So we deal with the idea of cocoons, where you can take a bed that's covered and move it out into the center of the room and gently show them that there's a more confident life for them out in the open with the rest of the world, as opposed to catering to those hiding needs.
Well, another issue, those cats who look at your couch as a scratching post.
Now, Jackson says it's a necessity for cats to scratch, but there are some things you can do to tell them that's not the place.
What you can do is say no and put double-sided tape to train them away from that couch. But in the meantime, you got to say, yes, I understand that need, and then you put a very sturdy scratching post next to the couch. That way you're saying, I get it, I recognize you've got to do this. Also, I'm going to give you something sturdy so it doesn't tip over when you scratch it, and it works for the most part.
Another tip, put your cat detective hat on and look at the world through your cat's eyes. Jackson says when you start doing that, you recognize why certain things are happening.
Well, another place that you may want to put yourself level to your pet is in the car.
And if you are a pet owner who tries their best to protect your pet by using a pet harness, thing is, not all of them are created equally.
Consumer Watch reporter Julie Watts shows us firsthand the struggle for pet safety.
2 years ago, in a first-of-its-kind crash test, the leading pet harness most trusted by owners failed again and again. One test pooch was even decapitated. Then 1 year later, we showed you how some pet crates and carriers can be safety hazards. The results of these crash tests? Sobering.
We were very disturbed at some of the findings.
Now, the Center for Pet Safety is at it again, this time testing pet travel seats. Are there any safe pet seats?
From a pet seat perspective, no, we do not recommend pet seats at this time for pet owners.
Director Lindsay Wolko says their tests show pet seats, which generally attach to a pet's collar or walking harness, don't offer much protection during a crash.
The connection points would fail. The product itself would, either roll or launch off the seat. The dog would take flight.
So what are pet parents supposed to do to keep their precious cargo safe?
We have now been able to identify the safest options for pets.
Wolko says after years of crash testing, a couple of products come out on top. For the big dogs, they recommend the SleepyPod Click-It Sport Harness and the G1 Intermediate Gunner Kennel. And for smaller pets, they recommend the SleepyPod Mobile Bed and the Pet Ergo Formaframe Jet Set Carrier.
Good boy, Shorty.
But above all, Wolko says pet owners should buckle up their best friend.
You need to be discerning. You need to make the proper selection, and that's what our work is all about.
Now, the Center for Pet Safety says it does not take any money from manufacturer and that its recommendations are based solely on its independent findings. However, their program is sponsored by Subaru.
That is some sobering video.
Yeah, and you got to think of your pets as your baby. I mean, you would not let your baby sit in your lap as you're driving down the road, just like some people let their pet sit in their lap.
Don't
So, yeah, well, now that we know how to help our pets adjust to our homes and to keep them safe, why not think about welcoming a pet into the family? We can help you find the perfect one in today's Pet Connect. Our first stop is Delaware SPCA's Georgetown shelter, where we find Navy. She is a 6-month-old domestic short-hair mix. Navy came from a rescue group with her friend Skip, who was already adopted.
Now, also at the Georgetown shelter is Nasir. Nasir is an 8-year-old Chihuahua Jack Russell mix. He's a friendly little guy waiting for his forever home.
Moving on to this pooch with an attitude. At Talbot Humane in Easton, we find Sassy. She is a 6-month-old lab mix. She was surrendered because she was too big and had too much energy for her owner. Sassy isn't for families with small children. She will not be adopted if you have kids under 10 years old.
Cupcake the cat also calls Talbot Humane her temporary home. This 6-year-old calico is just as sweet as her name suggests. She and her sister Jasmine were surrendered when their owner had to move away. Cupcake will be a treat to your home.
Okay, check out Diesel. Isn't he handsome? He came to Talbot Humane back in June because his owner could no longer care for him. He's a real hit among the volunteers and has a bunch of energy. This happy 2-year-old pup will jump right into your family.
Looks like fun. At the Humane Society of Wicomico County, we find Lady Guinevere. She's a 9-week-old domestic medium hair kitty, and she's just full of love. If you love to snuggle and give kisses, Lady Guinevere is the perfect kitten for you.
And that's a perfect name. And we saved one of the best for last. 5-month-old Tuppers is a darling pup who was tossed away with his 3 siblings. He's also at the Humane Society of Wicomico County. Now, he's a shy pup, but get him warmed up and it's all tail wags and kisses from there. Take a look at those eyes. And for more information on any of the animals featured in today's Pet Connect, go to WBOC.com and click on our picture at the top of the page.
All right, now once you get your new pet into its new home and comfy, maybe you'll want to do some holiday shopping. Have you ever considered a pawn shop? Sometimes the secondhand stores get a bad rap, but you're going to find out why they shouldn't and see exactly why. You may just find exactly what you've been looking everywhere for.
And look no further. If you want to hear a voice that will knock your socks off, we are pleased to have Sarah Ann Garrison back in historic Studio D. She'll take the Delmarva Life stage a little later.
But first, you know that Delmarva Life is all about community, and that includes your community too.
Is there something going on in your neighborhood? We'd love to hear about it and see your photos from the event. Send the information our way along with any pictures you'd like to share.
You can reach us at comments@delmarvalife.com or just like us on Facebook. Share the information there. Delmarva Life will be right back.